Good afternoon, my name is Ron from Ron Gibson Properties in association with LeGrys. Now before we start, if you have found this video helpful, I'd be really grateful if you could like it as well. But welcome, most importantly, to one of the most beautiful homes here you will find in Lewes, one of the prime locations as well. Prince Edward's Road, really popular, and you can see why, because you've got this lovely tree-lined road, really beautiful, and still within walking distance to the mainline train station of Lewes obviously here, and then also your amenities and facilities with the excellent schools as well in the area. So as you can see, this really is a wonderful grand old Victorian property built in 1870. Recently it has been a residential care home, however the owners now have converted it from C3 use to C2 residential, which means now you can actually change this all back into a glorious residential property. And as I say, it's got so much scope. And while we're outside, so you're looking here at a good sized plot as well, just waiting for it to be confirmed before this video, so that will be on the details. But as you can see here, you've got a nice frontage as well. Now again, it's got so much scope and potential for what you want to do, but you can imagine in the old days it would have certainly had the iron railings there. You can see evidence on the bricks there that would have been something in the past. Obviously with World War at the time, that would have all been taken out and changed because obviously, anyway, diverting, but that would have been needed. But you can see here, look at that. It just stands out, and what I like is it's so symmetrical, those beautiful bay windows as well. It just works really well. But you can see there's been lots of changes to the property as we walk through it. You can see that, for instance, here probably would have been, I imagine, the front door to the property and the entrance, but that has since, as you can tell by the brickwork, been changed and altered. But I would imagine that would have been the original entrance. Makes sense with it as well, and all the different little pathways. Now what I've already discovered, if you move some of the earth, you will find little paths and things, so lots of treasures I'm sure underneath here that you can find as well and bring back to life. This is what I love about properties like this, is it has so much potential, and I can't reiterate enough the fact that you are in the prime spot in Lewes. So if you're looking for one of the grandeur old buildings, this is absolutely perfect for you. So coming now to the rear garden. So again, you can see where there's been a past, well, several, so you can see a past extension here, but also in the past they've had this built as well, this sort of cabin, which has created in the past various bedrooms for the use of a residential care home. But probably now you would look at potentially knocking that down, or certainly fixing it, because the flat roof now certainly does need so, and you'll see bits of timber trims there that need changing. So probably you would knock that down, use a footprint, and probably do something else with it. Now you have got some beautiful big old trees here on the plot, but when I walk round the outside later, they've got this beautiful, magnificent flint wall, very typical of this area as well, and it is absolutely beautiful. So as we just come back to this bit of the garden, I could be here all day and certainly go on about it, but it's got so much. If you want a garden, you can landscape. Again, so much more you can do. Just being careful when walking there. And this shows you from a different aspect as well, so you can see that. Also beautiful roof line there, and what I love is that beautiful chimney, and again so full of character, and you can bring all of this back to life, which I love. Then a useful little storage area here, could be put back in as a garage maybe, but certainly lots of scope. If we just actually have a quick look in there, because I want you to see the whole place first. So as you can see, useful little storage area anyway. So if I just close that up, just minding I don't find a fast way down, but you will absolutely, as I say, have such a beautiful project on your hands here, and you can see why I've certainly fallen in love with it. What I'm going to do actually while we're outside, and then we'll start the second part of this going inside to show you the accommodation on offer. But here It's, as I say, got that lovely gated entrance there, but there you go, that's the side current entrance to the property. But I'm just going to take you for a little walk around the perimeter, because I think that's really important, not just to see the property but the location, and also the beautiful flint wall as well. So if we look at it again from the outside, there you go. So I'm just going to take you for a little walk. So this, as I say, we're currently on Prince Edward's Road, and as you can see, really nice indeed. And again, that flint wall just all the way, you think how long that has lasted, not needing repair. You think of nowadays how things last. It's a really different world, isn't it? It really is. So we're going to come now along into King Henry's Road. So you're full of princes and kings where you live here, which is lovely. And as I say, you've got this beautiful, again, tree-lined road. You really know you're in the best part of anywhere when you've got roads like this. It's just so beautiful. And as I say, that's the front of the property, just up there, just to give you a bearings. Now, as well as off-road parking you can create there, you have got a garage here, which is really useful. So if you do want a garage, you have got that, and you've got the driveway here coming off. Then that one there, so that's like a storage room. You could convert it to a garage, but that leads, there's a room there and then leads into the kitchen. So when you see the video later, that hopefully will give you some bearing. Coming through, then if I just go through the gate here. So as you come up here, obviously the whole place does need modernisation throughout and tidying up, etc. But you can see just a beautiful entrance here to the property. Does need, as I say, that vision, an architect's dream, I think is the term. As you can see from the side elevation there, you've got these beautiful big sash windows as well. And again, looking up there, you have got all, again, some really nice original features. Coming through this brick archway, you've got, as I say, the rear bit here of the bedrooms that were added in the past there. So you probably, as I say, will probably knock that down. Then you've got this other door which will lead up into the main house itself. So you can use this door as a back door. But for now, we'll start the video through the other side for the interior. I'll be with you in one moment. Coming through then the current front door, you have got this nice spacious entrance. Again, depending on your reconfiguration of the property, but at this moment, as I say, it is the entrance hall to the property. So there's been quite a few changes over the years, and just so you know, during the video, I'm not going to say this is a living room, this is a dining area, etc. Just going to say this is a room, because at the end of the day, you will change things around, you will knock walls through, you will make changes to the property that you see fit, suitable for your family. So that's why on this video, I'm just going to say this is a room, because then you can reconfigure it to however you want it to be. So as we go through here, you've got this wonderful, big, former, I say living space, but however you want to have it. It's almost like a little mini ballroom here. It's actually really nice and characterful. Coming through though, because you are still in the actual original building as well, you've got just a hallway here, you've got rooms off here, rooms off there. So we're going to start here. So this is where there has been extensions in the past, and you'll see what I mean. Now this room here is fine, just needs a new flat roof being sorted, so that's nothing major on that. So this again is a decent size room. You've got nice, bright and airy. Then this is where I have to say, yeah, would you knock this down, try and recover it? That will be then obviously completely up to you. So you've got here a little corridor area here where you've got your sink and cabinets there, which you can see for yourself. Then you've got the bathroom. In here we've got various bathrooms, obviously throughout the property, so just a little bit of storage there. Then coming through, you've got another room here backing on. Now that does take you to the other side of the property. So you've got then, as I say, the road there. So on that side, but again, really decent sort of space you can utilize. Then you've got this side door here leading out into the garden. Coming through the hallway, got a further bathroom here. And then you've got what looks like a former boiler room as such. You could imagine the old days it would have had a big boiler in there. Now with moderns, you can just have various boilers around. So that's much easier. Coming through again now, this was former accommodation, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. It needs either really knocking down or could be refelted the roof and see what you can sort and repair. So you've got a bedroom here. Windows nicely overlooking the garden. Then you'll see what I mean here. So you can see where mold has crept in because there's been a leak in the past. And yes, needs really, as I say, real change here. You'd probably, to be fair, knock this down, use the footprint as well, because yeah, the mold isn't great in there. Then you've got through here, you have got a further room and you've got another WC wash hand basin. But yeah, you can see the mold really has taken effect in these two bedrooms, sadly. However, there's so much plus about this place, it really is. Then a further bedroom, or sorry, further room. See, I'm getting into the habit now. And little storage cupboard, further room in here. And then one more here. Could you have this all if you work from home? So this could all be changed and updated and have it as like an office. So that could work really well, working from home. You could have your own business running from here potentially, subject obviously to all the conditions and regulations, but that's a really good possibility. So much scope here, there really is. And I just love when you get into the main house, the character and what it can be as well. So we'll just have a look through there now. And if I go through back into this wonderful, huge, big, I say huge, the high ceilings, crikey, even if you're 7 foot, it won't be a problem. You know, in some houses, you almost feel like if you're tall, you're hitting the ceiling. Well, this certainly you don't have that problem. So beautiful room here. And there you go. These lovely big sash windows. Just moving around here just to give you a good idea of the scope of this room, because this really could be brought back into its full splendour. It is absolutely lovely. Coming through then into a further room at the front. Again, these beautiful big sash windows. You can imagine in its heyday when it was built in 1870 how it would have looked like. Now there was some water coming through a pipe. So from the drains, from the gutters, so that just needs drying out and then refixing. But that's something you do need just to see, because I like to show on my video absolutely everything as we're walking around. And then you've got a bathroom just here. Again, now this is where on the outside, I was suggesting that this, I would imagine, could have been the original front door, which would have made sense because definitely that's the front of the building. So you could have probably had a front door there, and this would have been the entrance hall with probably a grandeur sort of staircase, sweeping staircase leading up to the first floor. So again, all this sort of thing your architect can get hold of and sort in their mind and create this really amazing space, because look at this. These beautiful sash windows again, and just the brickwork around. It's just, this house was actually built not just to last for a few years. This is a really good, solid home that you are looking at here. So really nice indeed. Lots of storage cupboards. But again, you'll be knocking things through, I'm sure, and changing things around. So it's probably a bit irrelevant to say there's a cupboard here and there. Get my teeth in again. Coming through again, another focal point of the lovely big sash window and the lovely aspects that you get on this property or in the property as you are. And then you've got a further toilet and wash hand basin there. And then if we go and have a look quickly downstairs into the cellar. Now this is where there's a big, or what was the kitchen for the nursing home, and some storage. Now this light's not very good in here, I'm afraid, so I don't know if you can see, but there's a storage cupboard here, or storage area, probably great. Actually, it's nice and cool. And then there's a further little cupboard in there, but I don't think you can see it that well, so apologies. Coming through to the kitchen. So again, this would have been the kitchen, as I say, for the nursing home. Now, again, you'd probably reconfigure all of this. Obviously, you could have extra reception space. You might decide to keep a kitchen down here. You've got a really useful big storage cupboard as well in there. So again, good for storing your food if you do want to have this still as a kitchen. I personally think you could reconfigure the whole of the the lower ground floor stroke cellar, and you could potentially maybe make this into a really funky cinema room, games room, something more useful. But remember, you have got out here, you've got one of what was the garage, but they've put in a door. So that leads out onto the road. So again, either if you want, and you've got cars you want to keep in a garage, you could utilise this and the next door garage as well, that way. However, you could potentially maybe change all of this and just amalgamate it into more space, obviously again subject to planning and building regs, into the property. There's just so much scope, so much potential in this home. It's just crying out for that genius to work out how to bring the soul back into the property, but also making it creative to bring it into today's standards as well, because it needs to have that blend of period, but with a bit of modern as well. So, right, let's go and have a look upstairs at the first floor, and I will look forward to seeing you shortly. Thank you. Now, coming up to the first floor, I'm just on this half landing here where there have been in the past staff toilets. So again, this is all just extra rooms. You can change things around, of course. You may well do just put in a toilet and wash hand basin for guests and your family, but that's that bit there. Coming up to the landing part. Now, what I love here is this beautiful etched glass. I can't say it's original because I don't know, but it does certainly look it, and I have to say, what a lovely, clean that up. That it could be a lovely part to do with up here, so that is beautiful. Then walking round here, the landing, you have got various rooms again, so I don't class them as bedrooms or receptions because you can see for yourself and you'll probably be knocking walls down anyway. So rather than a property with, I think in total about 44 rooms, you'll be just literally going round on that basis. So coming round here to a further room, just to let you have a look, you've got these lovely sash windows as well. You've got a little sink in there. Coming through then back into the landing area, you've got a further room here to the front. This is one of those feature beautiful big sash windows. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Obviously you'd cut some trees back a bit to let more light in and more views, because there's some beautiful views in the distance. And then got a little ensuite there. Coming through into a bathroom. So you've got your panel bath WC in there. Then coming through into the bedroom here, you've got two absolutely beautiful sash windows here. Again, a further little toilet and wash hand basin in there. And again, you can imagine if you cut that all back, you will have lovely views and good vista. Now this room, you do have little two extra ways of getting in and out just there. So again, you can interlink rooms, all sorts of things here if you need be. Then coming through into another room. This one sides on as well to the other side, to the other road. And there you go there. Then coming through, again, so much scope and potential here. This could also be closed off and have it as a little sort of teenage den. So you've got the bathroom down there, which we'll have a look at in a second. if I just come up through here, you have got here a further room. It's going to be a common theme when I go around this property. Room here, room there. There you go. And again, lovely sash window. Some of them you can see actually the original doors that have been painted in time. Got a lovely balustrade there. Again, don't know if it's part of the original, but if it is, that's a lovely feature to have. Just being careful where I walk here, so excuse me. And then coming down into a bathroom here. So there you go. But this could be, maybe it could even become like a granny annex. I say granny annex, but someone, if you've got someone caring and looking after children in a little area, they've got a bit of privacy, whatever, you could do so much things. This is an architect's dream for sure, because there's so much scope and potential. At the moment, it's a bit of a labyrinth because of what it's been. So the fact that it was a nursing home, obviously divide rooms up and make more rooms, whereas for residential, you'll be knocking walls through, making things bigger again for your more sort of purpose of needing not 16 or so bedrooms. You would have it changed so that it's probably 7 or so bedrooms instead. Now you have got another entrance here. So if we just walk down here, got this lovely balustrade here. I really love that. And then if I just show you going up, gives you an idea. So lovely, you can imagine that has been in the past, a lovely old staircase. And then if I just open up here, this grand old door does remind me a bit of going to Charles Dickens' Great Expectations, you know, when the house, the doorway had all those cobwebs and things. But the house really could be so magnificent here, bringing it back to life. It certainly could be almost like the pride of Lewes. It's just such a beautiful building. Then you've got the other side here of the extension that's been done in the past. And I'll show you that, as I say, well, I've already shown it to you. But again, you can just go back through that, and there is the other entrance in if you want to park on the other road. But you can see here it has, as I say, got this beauty to it. I have fallen in love with this house, if you haven't actually cottoned onto that already, and I'm sure you will too, because it just needs that soul. It just needs the architects with vision and buyers who know, because I can assure you this property will be the talk of town once it's all done. It is, as I say, such a wonderful, wonderful location. And the character, it's like you put that back into this property, I can assure you, you will not regret. And here I am just quickly there. That's it, all locked. Coming back up the stairs, we will then go and have a look again in the garden just one more time to finish off this video. And if I haven't, sorry, shown you this, because I don't remember if I did, this is a little kitchenette area. Little breakfast bar area you could have there, and that's another aspect. And you can also see the flat roof, so all of that will need redoing if you do keep the extension there, but you can see it does need work from that point of view. But we're not hiding that. The house does need modernisation and updating, but could be back to its old former glory for sure. So I'll show you now the garden one more time, and we'll speak shortly. Thank you. So just to finalise this video, as we're now back out in the garden, just wanted to say thank you for watching. If you have obviously got this far, please do, as I say, like the video. That will really help. And also, if you do have any questions, please do get in touch with me, and I'll be delighted to show you this absolute beauty of a home, as I say, built back in 1870, and look at it, all the character and all the features still there. But it really is the setting. You're on the doorstep here of the South Downs. Never mind that, the beautiful period of Lewes is a really huge point, but this is fabulous. So you've got decent garden, really good sized property, off-road parking potential as well, and certainly with the garages behind as well. So you've got a wonderful plot here, and I certainly look forward to seeing you when you come and view this home. So do get in touch. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you for watching and do take care.